I'm going to demonstrate how to write a partition procedure in ThoughtTalk. So this will be from scratch completely this time. So the first thing we do is we create a new procedure, and we give it a name, call it partition. Now we have to set its input. It's going to be A or B star. So we say, okay, this is A, add A or A, change that to A or B, and then add the star. And then let's also specify the output, which is going to be A star, B star. So A, AA, change that to B, add a star here, and then add a star there. Okay, so now we can go ahead and write our partition function procedure. All right, the first thing we do is we say we're done specifying the input. Right, I have to do that twice for some reason. All right, and then the first thing we do is we create a loop because we're going to loop through all the A and B's in the star procedure. Okay, and the second thing we're going to do is okay, we'll disassemble this. You know, we want to get the first element of the star if it's there. So we say, okay, we select this popple sort of primitive operation, which basically extracts the first element out of the star. Now, this is really strange. So, okay, when we did the loop, we turned into a green channel, which is basically just marking the loop. And then we've split. So we have a red channel and a blue channel. So what this means is in the red channel, we have AB star, but on the blue channel, we have nothing, which actually kind of makes sense because, you know, AB star, when you disassemble it, either if it's empty, you get nothing. You won't be able to get this AB out of it. So this blue channel is representing the empty case, and we don't see blue in the representation of our array because it's empty, it's nothing. All right, now we click on the OR and we want to disassemble that. That creates two more channels here. We have the pink channel, which is just where the OR has A in it, and the orange channel where the OR has a B in it, right? So now we are ready to sort of, create our new star things. So we're going to do a lift here to create the B star. And what this does is it works with the loop, right? It says, okay, I'm going to add a new B star here, and we're going to take that B and we're going to suck it into it, right? And we're going to do that on each iteration of the loop. So it doesn't make sense if you don't have a loop. But in our case we do, so it works. Okay, now I want to move this A to before the B star, but we don't have anything to do it, right? Nothing allows us to sort of flip the A, so we have to create a new procedure to do that. We could also do it manually here, but it would be pretty cluttering. So let's just create a new one here. We're going to call this slide, right? And just add this. Let's make it C this time, and this D. And what this does is it takes CD star and will produce D star C. So we could express that in the output here. This is going to be D, and this is going to be C, and this should be star. So it's basically going to take this thing and move it to the front, or we can do it in reverse to take this thing and move it to the back. Okay. So we start by sort of disassembling. Oh, we have to say done first. For some reason I did that twice. All right. So we're going to disassemble this D star here, and again it creates a red channel and a blue channel where the D is empty, and a red channel where it's not empty where we can extract out the D. And then we're going to swap C and D. Okay, and then we're going to take this D here and we're going to put it back into this D star, which is pusher. Right, now we need the D star, this red D star, to be also include the blue channel, and since stars can be empty, all we have to do is add an empty D star to the to it, and it can become a black channel. Right, so we're going to add an empty star here, and then that's it. We have our output, and we return. So let's test this, right? Let's test it here, right? If we have C, D, 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 so the C here is C, and this is D star, which expands out to D, D, D. And if we look at it, right, we see the first thing is we disassemble the pop-R instruction, disassembles the D star, and then the swap happens, and then the two things are added together. Now, if D star is empty, we have a test case for that. We can check out C here, right? We can see, okay, well, the pop-R, we're in the blue channel, so there's nothing there. And then we add, via the empty star operator, we add an empty D star to it so that we match the output. Okay, so let me activate that so it's visible in our menu, and then we'll go back to the partition procedure. Right now, when I click this, right, we have this slide. It takes the slide procedure that we just implemented and it does it in reverse, so that A will now follow behind. Okay, now A is there. Now we can lift it out. And now we have our output, except we have this thing here, right? We have this A star B. It means we basically have to continue the loop, right? And so what happens is that when we have our loop condition, when we reach this, just this output, then we can basically call unloop, which will delete it, which basically is because we're looping up the red channel back to the beginning, and so all we have left is the blue channel, right? Then we can just return. So let's test that. Let's select something here. Let's go something BA. How about AB, AB? Okay. So now we have the first iteration. Well, the first thing we do is we add the A star, B star for our loops, for the lift operators to work, right? Then we look at our first element of AB star, which is A. So now we're in the pink channel, which is the one that includes A and not B. And we slide that to the beginning, but of course, slide doesn't actually do anything here. It just, because it's empty, but that was the case that we handled in the previous procedure that we implemented. And then we add it to the A star, and then we loop back. Now the second iteration is the same thing, except now there's a B, right? So now we're in the orange channel instead, and we, put that into the lifted B star, and then we loop back. And then we do the same thing for the next A, and then the same thing for the next B, and then finally we're in the blue channel because there's nothing left, right? And that's it, we just return. Okay, and that's it. So I've shown you how to do partition and slide. I'm almost ready to do quicksort. There's a more complicated version of partition that uses a lot more complexity, but this one is actually simple enough to understand and implement. All right, thank you.